What if I told you that one piece of advice could change your life instantly? Not next week, not next year, right now. Most people spend their entire lives searching for a breakthrough, never realizing that the answer has been right in front of them all along. The way you think, the way you act, the way you see reality. That is the only thing standing between you and the life you truly want. Today, I'm about to reveal a game-changing truth. Wisdom so powerful, so profound, that even the world's most successful people credit it for their transformation. A shift that rewires your mind, shatters fear, and unlocks a level of potential you never thought possible. And here's the shocking part. Science has already proven this. Your brain is constantly rewiring itself. Your thoughts are shaping your reality, and with just one perspective shift, you can become the person you were destined to be. But most people never hear these truths. They stay stuck in the same patterns, the same doubts, the same invisible limitations. That ends today. In the next few minutes, you're going to learn the insights that top performers, visionaries, and world leaders live by. The kind of advice that once you hear it, you can't unhear. So, if you're ready to experience a radical shift, stay with me till the end, because this isn't just another motivational speech. This is the moment your transformation begins. Welcome to Mindful Rise, where transformation begins. If you're ready to elevate your mind and unlock your full potential, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications, because this is just the beginning. Before we talk about the big breakthroughs, let's talk about something far more powerful: consistency, the secret weapon that most people overlook. Robin Sharma, a world-renowned leadership expert, often says that small daily improvements, when done consistently, lead to stunning results. And science agrees. The brain thrives on repetition. Every time you repeat a habit, you strengthen neural pathways, making success not just a possibility, but an inevitability. Think about it. The most successful people in the world, athletes, entrepreneurs, visionaries, aren't relying on motivation. They rely on habits. They don't wake up every day wondering if they should take action. They've programmed their minds to follow a system, a set of daily rituals that compound over time. Take the story of legendary artist Michelangelo. Many believe his genius was a gift, but few know that he spent years, every single day, refining his craft, sculpting for hours on end, even when no one was watching. The result? Masterpieces that have stood the test of time. And the same principle applies to your life. Whether you want to rewire your brain, build wealth, or master a skill, it's not about one big leap. It's about the small, deliberate actions repeated daily. Because success isn't built in a day. It's built every day. Before we talk about changing your future, let's go back to your past, back to when you were a child, before the world told you who to be, before expectations shaped your choices. What did you love to do? What made you feel alive? Most people don't realize that the key to their future is hidden in their past. When we were kids, we acted on instinct. We explored, we created, we dreamed, without fear of judgment. But as we grew older, we were told to be practical, to follow the rules, to fit into a mold. And in that process, many of us lost touch with who we truly are. Psychologists call this intrinsic motivation, the things you do simply because they bring you joy. Studies show that people who reconnect with their childhood passions experience higher levels of fulfillment and purpose. Why? Because those early passions were never random. They were glimpses of your true nature, the parts of you that existed before society rewired your mind. Take Albert Einstein. Many think of him as a genius, but few know that his love for physics started when he was just a child. fascinated by a simple compass. That curiosity never left him. It shaped his entire life. The same applies to you. The things that once lit you up, that you left behind, may be the very things that can set you free today. So ask yourself, what did you love before the world told you what to love? What would you do even if no one was watching? Because somewhere inside you, the answers are still there, waiting to be rediscovered. Before we talk about getting what you want, let's talk about letting go. The need to control, the urge to fix, the constant battle to make people see things your way. It's exhausting, isn't it? But what if the key to peace wasn't in controlling more, but in controlling less? Mel Robbins calls this the let them theory. It's simple. When people make decisions, whether it's a friend canceling plans, a coworker taking credit for something, or a loved one not supporting your dreams, just let them. Let them do whatever they're going to do. Because trying to control other people is like trying to hold water in your hands. It slips through every time. And here's the truth. Control is an illusion. The only thing you truly have power over is yourself. The way you react, the way you set boundaries, the way you choose to move forward instead of wasting energy trying to change someone else. Look at the people who seem the most at peace. They don't chase, they don't force, they don't beg for validation. They understand something most people don't. The more you try to control others, the more you lose control of yourself. Science backs this up. Studies in psychology show that people with high emotional intelligence focus on response rather than reaction. Instead of getting caught up in frustration and resistance, they shift their energy toward what they can control, how they think, how they feel, and how they show up in their own lives. And the moment you embrace this, you become free. Free from the weight of expectations, free from the stress of trying to manage other people's actions, free to focus on what truly matters. Your own growth, your own peace, and the relationships that bring you real joy. Before we talk about achieving success, let's talk about desire. Not the kind shaped by expectations, not what society says you should want, but what you truly want. The dreams that keep you awake at night. The vision of the life you know you're meant to live. Joan Armatrading, the legendary singer-songwriter, once gave a piece of advice that cuts through all the noise. Whatever you want to do, just go and do it. No waiting for permission, no asking if it's the right time, no hoping someone else will believe in you first. Because here's the truth. No one is going to hand you the life you want. You have to take it. Most people never pursue what they truly desire, not because they lack talent or opportunity, but because they're waiting. Waiting for approval, waiting for the fear to disappear, waiting until they feel ready. But readiness is a myth. If you wait until you feel ready, you'll be waiting forever. The most successful people didn't start with certainty, they started with action. They moved forward even when they were unsure. They took risks even when failure was a possibility. And most importantly, they relied on themselves. Self-reliance is the foundation of every great achievement. Look at Joan Armatrading herself. She didn't come from wealth or privilege. She didn't have connections in the music industry. What she had was determination. She taught herself to play guitar. She wrote her own songs. She knocked on doors, refusing to be overlooked. And because she didn't wait for someone else to open the door for her, she became the first British female singer-songwriter to gain international success on her own terms. So ask yourself, are you living the life you want? or the life someone else expects? Are you waiting for the perfect moment, or are you willing to create it? Because in the end, the only person who can make your dreams a reality is you. The science is clear. When you rest, your brain reorganizes information, strengthens memories, and sparks new ideas. But when you burn yourself out, you sabotage the very thing you're working so hard to build. Your energy crashes, your creativity fades, and the motivation that once drove you, it disappears. The truth is, balance isn't a luxury, it's a strategy. Rest isn't the opposite of hard work. It's what makes hard work sustainable. Those who understand this don't just succeed, they stay at the top while everyone else burns out. Before we talk about growth, let's talk about something even more important: how you treat yourself when things go wrong. Because no matter how strong, disciplined, or motivated you are, you will have setbacks, you will make mistakes. And in those moments, how you respond to yourself will shape everything that comes next. Most people are their own worst critics. They get frustrated, replay their failures, and let anger take over. But here's the truth: beating yourself up doesn't make you stronger. It only keeps you stuck. Psychologists call this self-compassion, and studies show that people who practice it don't just feel better, they perform better. Why? Because instead of wasting energy on self-blame, they refocus on solutions. They don't let one mistake define them. They learn, they adjust, and they move forward. Think about the most successful people in the world. Do you really think they never failed? Of course they did. But instead of punishing themselves, they used failure as fuel. Michael Jordan missed over 9,000 shots in his career. Thomas Edison failed thousands of times before inventing the light bulb. They didn't let failure break them, because they didn't break themselves. And the same applies to you. When life gets hard, when things don't go as planned, when you feel like you've fallen behind, stop, take a breath. Remind yourself that growth isn't about perfection. It's about progress. And the only way to keep moving forward is to treat yourself with the same patience and kindness you'd give to someone you love. Before we talk about success, let's talk about something that makes most people uncomfortable: change. The unexpected, the moments when life shifts in ways you never saw coming. Some resist it, some fear it, but the ones who rise, they embrace it. Sir Mo Farah, one of the greatest long-distance runners of all time, built his entire career on adaptability. Born in Somalia, he moved to the UK as a child, struggling to fit in, barely speaking English. He could have let that stop him. Instead, he adapted. He trained harder. He reshaped his mindset. And when he later switched from the 5,000 meter to the marathon, a completely different challenge, he proved once again that true success isn't about staying comfortable. It's about evolving. Science supports this. The brain is wired for neuroplasticity, meaning it can change and adapt at any age, but only if you allow it. The more you expose yourself to new experiences, new challenges, new ways of thinking, the stronger, sharper, and more resilient you become. Every great achievement in history came from someone who refused to shrink their dreams in the face of failure. Walt Disney was told he had no imagination. Oprah Winfrey was fired from her first job. Thomas Edison failed thousands of times before inventing the light bulb. The difference? They didn't let setbacks define them. They let them sharpen their vision. So when life knocks you down, when doors close, when people tell you it's impossible, don't just get back up, dream bigger. Because the only limits that exist are the ones you choose to accept. Before we talk about success, Let's talk about the one thing you can never get back: time. Money can be regained, opportunities can come again, but time, once it's gone forever. Most people live as if they have endless time. They waste it on distractions, on meaningless arguments, on things that don't move them forward. But look at the most successful people. They treat time like the most valuable resource they have, because it is. Think about it. Every second you spend on something unimportant is a second taken away from something that truly matters. Your goals, your growth, the people you love, the things that make life meaningful. Science backs this up. Studies show that people who consciously manage their time experience lower stress and higher life satisfaction. They don't just exist. They live with intention. They choose where their energy goes. They protect their time like their future depends on it, because it does. So ask yourself, how are you spending your time? Are you investing it in your future or wasting it on things that don't matter? Because in the end, time isn't something you find, it's something you create, and every moment counts. Everything we've talked about today comes down to one simple truth. Your life is shaped by the choices you make every single day. Embracing consistency, discovering your true self, letting go of control, and pursuing what you truly want. These aren't just ideas, they are actions. And the way you apply them will determine the future you create. Remember, success isn't about working endlessly. It's about balancing hard work with rest. It's about practicing self-compassion, adapting to change, and dreaming big despite setbacks. Most importantly, it's about valuing your time, because every second is a chance to move closer to the life you deserve. Now, it's up to you. Which of these lessons will you apply today? What small shift will you make that could lead to something extraordinary? Don't just listen to this advice, live it. If this video gave you something to think about, make sure to like it and subscribe to our channel. There's so much more to explore, and we'll be here to guide you every step of the way. Stay focused, stay inspired, and remember, you have the power to change your life.